a teacher, or if you're looking into teaching, or if you're even in education school, that can help you with everything and anything. First, to plan my lessons, I like to use this book. This book is called Better Learning Through Structured Teaching, and it's a framework for the gradual release of responsibility. Now, to do my classroom management, look for action plans, and keep the level of rigor high, I like to use this book called Get Better Faster. It's a 90-day plan for coaching new teachers. I got this as a present from this committee that I'm part of. It's called the New Mexico Teacher Leader Network. And this book pretty much is like a spell book. It teaches you how to do instant immersion. It teaches you how to fix like poor objectives. It teaches you how to spot like issues that you have in the classroom, maybe students talking, how to fix them without distracting the whole class. It teaches you how to be in control of your classroom. And throughout this year, I plan to share the techniques that I use in my classroom, um, in a way that is, um, I mean, in a way that is presented the way that the centennials or our customers, our students, like to hear things, or regardless of the difference between this generation that is actually more sensitive in med school or farm school, getting their dentistry licenses, or they're working telemarketing and they have a degree in like advanced science. Um, so like a lot of them have been considering teaching, and I get this question often by my friends, like, "Hey, how do you start? You know, like my background is not in teaching, but you seem to have fun." I mean, because I get to have fun. You know, I go on meetings with the superintendent once a month. I get to meet the Secretary of State. From being a level one teacher to becoming a department head of science for two schools, at 25, that's pretty good, right? I feel really proud of myself, but more than anything, I feel happy that I have the opportunity to gather all this research directly from the primary source, which is, of course, the students. You learn how they learn, and so you have to try new things, fun things. Look, for example, artistic people like to do things like this. We're learning about the plant cells, and they did a book for plant cells, about different like plant adaptations. Some plants like cacti have to adapt to their surroundings. Their body swells up to store water, so they can use it for later. And then they have chemical equations and stuff, the parts of the cell, you know, um, how roots grow. They even have the photosynthesis stage, and of course, the plant kingdom and the species of plants. And you know, then these sort of projects gets the students interested in the class because they feel like they're publishing a book. Sometimes I have them do websites, like for instance the presidential debate of the organelles. You know, whenever we go to labs, like even if we're playing with uh, color, food coloring and water, I tell them, oh, imagine this is a really, really strong acid that if it falls on you, it will burn you. So like you have to make them get something out of it, either something they learned, like practical use, for instance, creating websites, creating flyers, but like professional, or something like like a new experience, like get him exposed to a career, for instance, a professional scientist, where the lab coats. Make sure that you care about what you're teaching, and most importantly, follow the pacing guides. There's so many resources out there, and not all of them are amazing. So you have to learn how to be selective. You have to also learn how to follow the pacing guides because, I mean, yes, you want to have a new classroom atmosphere and everything, but you also want your students to pass those standardized tests because we don't know if they're going to change them. We don't know. We cannot guarantee that in college people are going to adopt this mentality of, oh my gosh, let's do projects instead of tests. Of course, tests are something required, but you need to teach them how to pass the test without an issue, to use DOK level 4, which is the highest level of thinking, even though they're answering DOK ones, which is just like recall, you know? Um, but so of course we always hear that teachers get paid bad and that salaries blah 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 and that you do more work than you get paid for, which is true because I mean I should be playing with my dogs right now and I'm making this video because I really care about teaching and I want you to care about it too because that's an art. This is like not just your regular career. And I mean, every career, every person who likes what they do, they will say the same thing. But as far as salary, just be aware that in all the states, there's people already advocating for higher salaries. For example, I was able to be part of this group um, that sent petitions to our representative to pass certain laws. That way they could give teachers an increase in salary. And I mean, they gave us like, I guess like a 2.5% raise to 6%, uh, which I did see the difference by like quite a lot. Especially because I live alone. I mean, I have my dogs. I mean, I do pay for my house and stuff, but it did impact. Like I was able to get like the organic fruit instead of just the general one. Uh, so anyway, but as long as there's people advocating, then the changes will happen. However, changes will never happen if we do not have new minds to advocate for what is right. And by that I mean teachers are retiring every day. However, the income of new teachers is pretty low, and the requirements for alternative licensures have become a little bit more difficult, you know? And as a result, there's a lot of districts, at least in my state, who have been hiring people from different places in the world, like the Philippines or Spain, even Mexico. And I mean, I love diversity. However, I feel that if the millennials who are working jobs that aren't fulfilling them and have a degree and want to make a difference, want to become a teacher, want to become teachers, then they should. I mean, it's not impossible, and I am willing to help you.